How you doing, Grow with Google peeps? Phil here. I'm at it again, and we're just gonna power through this lesson, and we're just gonna jump right into it.
Glazed donuts, chocolate frosted donuts, Boston cream donuts, powdered donuts, sprinkled donuts, maple donuts, coconut jelly donuts, and finally donut holes. Hey, James, wake up.
Oh, right. A lot of donuts.
Exactly. And wouldn't it be nice if there were a way to keep track of all this information? A way to store it all in one place or in one variable, where we could keep a list of all these donuts.
Well, we can do just that with a data structure called an array. Arrays are a data structure that can hold multiple data values, kind of like a list. In this section, you'll explore how to create arrays, how to use arrays, and how arrays are structured. To start, let's look at how we could create an array to keep track of all the donuts in our shop. So as you can tell, we've got a lot of donuts that we got to keep up with at our shop. And trying to organize all of them is going to be a problem. We could create individual variables to keep track of each donut, but that's going to mean multiple variables, not so great variable names, and just a whole lot of mess. It's not exactly the best solution. Instead, to make this easier, we can use a data structure called an array. An array is a data structure that we can use to store multiple values. Also, one thing that makes arrays really awesome is that the values we store in an array are ordered. You can almost think of an array like a numbered list, where each item in the list has a number, and we can use that number to refer back to the item when we need it. With the one big difference being that arrays will start at 0 instead of starting at 1. But we'll look at that more in just a second. An array should work perfectly for organizing all of our donuts, so let's create one. Alright, so here I've got all of our donuts, but they're represented as individual variables. So we need to fix that if we're going to create an array to hold all of our donuts. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all of these variables and doing a little keyboard shortcut magic. Get rid of these semicolons, jump to the front, get rid of these variable declarations, and equal sign, so we're left with just the strings. Okay, perfect. So that's number one. The next step is we need to create a variable that can hold all of these strings, and that's going to be our donuts array. So to do that, I'm going to move those down a few spaces. I'm going to say var donuts. I'm going to set it equal to an opening bracket and a closing bracket, and then end it with the semicolon. So the opening and the closing brackets represent an empty array. At this point, we've got an array. It's empty, it doesn't have anything in it, but when we put the opening bracket, it says, hey, this variable is an array, and then the closing bracket is going to show the end of the array, so that's how we know that it's an array. Now for the last step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these strings and put them into our array. Now, the one thing that you need to make sure that you do when creating an array is that you separate each element in the array with a comma. Now, to do that, I'm going to use some more keyboard shortcuts here, and I'm going to select all of our lines, and I'm going to put a comma at the end. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that last comma. Because chocolate donut holes is our last element, we don't need that extra comma. Alright, and do one more thing, we'll get rid of all this space. Okay, let's just cut this and move it into our donuts array. Alright, and that's it.
Cool. That was actually a pretty nifty trick. Usually when I get a list like that, I have to, go to. I use Excel, and I use this website called delim.co, but I like that. That's pretty cool. Very useful. So starting to really like Sublime Text for that reason. Very useful for manipulating data. So an array is useful because it stores multiple values into a single organized data structure. But strings aren't the only type of data you can store in an array. You can also store numbers, booleans, and really anything. Here you could have a mixed data. Creates a mixed data array with mixed different types, A, B, C, D, string, number, boolean, undefined, null, and all the things. You can even store an array in an array to create a nested array. So it's an array of array. So here's an array of where the first element is a vector, right? If you guys remember your I don't know, like um, physics. Here's an array. The second element is an array of strings where it has two elements. Here is an array of true or false. Yeah, true or false. So that's pretty cool. This might come in handy later on when we're doing the project. If we needed to save that pixel map thing, what we could do is just create an array of array size of whatever the grid is, and we could save each element is a dot. So this would be like first row, and then this is a column. So anyhow, nested arrays can be particularly hard to read, so it's common to write them on one line using a new line after each comma. So here, instead of writing this one long statement, it's written like this so that it's broken up. Later in the lesson, we'll look into some unique situations where nested arrays can be useful. Okay, select valid arrays. That's not valid because it doesn't have a comma. That's valid. This is valid. Yeah, this is valid as well. This is not valid because it doesn't have the brackets. This is invalid because it doesn't have it's colon. I don't know, actually. In other languages, this is actually valid. Like this is like a matrix with. But I'm not going to check that. I don't think this is valid because it's a squarely bracket. So that should be it. Okay. Accessing array.
Let's revisit our donuts array from earlier. If you recall, we created an array of strings where each string represents a donut in our donuts array. Now another way of saying this is that each string, or donut, is an element in our donuts array. Now element is kind of an overloaded word because it's also used to talk about HTML elements or tags, but elements and arrays are different. The word element is used to signify the individual pieces of data in our array. Also, we have a way to access each element in our array by referencing its location in the array. The name that's used to refer to an element's location is its index. If you remember back to our lesson on data types and variables, we can refer to a specific character in a string by its index. Arrays work the exact same way. So just like strings, each element in the array is numbered starting from 0, and we can just use those numbers, or indices, to access whatever value we want in the array. For example, the first element in the donuts array is glazed, the second element
This is going to make me want to eat donuts now.
Cinnamon, and this process is going to continue until we get to our last element in the donuts array, which are these chocolate donut holes. Now the syntax for this is just the name of the array, the opening and closing brackets, and the index of the element we want to access. This gives us a much better way to organize and keep track of all the donuts in our shop.
Okay, cool. Straightforward. Okay, indexing, remember the elements in an array are indexed starting position 0. Okay, that's very crucial. To access an element in an array, use the name of the array immediately followed by the square brackets containing the index of the value you want to access. Variable donuts, glazed, powdered, sprinkled, console.log donuts. Glazed is the first. So console.log donuts 0 it outputs glazed because it's the first element in there. One thing to be aware, if you try to access an element at an index that does not exist, a value of undefined will be returned back. So console.log donuts 3, see there's 0, 1, 2, so 3 does not exist, prints undefined. Avoid accessing elements outside the bounds of an array. If you try to, the missing element will be returned back as undefined. So take a look at the following donuts array. variable donuts equals glazed, chocolate frosted, Boston cream, powdered. What else? Oh, there's more. Okay, so what line of code would you use to select coconut donuts from the donuts array? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's donut. Did I start with 0? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's donut 6. Okay, all good. Finally, if you want to change the value of an element in an array, you can do so by setting it equal to a new value. So donut 1 equals glazed cruller. I don't know what that is. Must be some kind of donut. This guy changes the second element in the donut array from in the donuts array to glazed cruller. Okay, so console.log prints out that. Let's take a look. We decided to replace some donuts in the donut array, var donuts, glazed, chocolate frosted, Boston cream. Okay, so that's donuts, and then now 2 is now cinnamon twist. So 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So Boston cream is replaced by cinnamon twist. 4 is now replaced by salted caramel. So 1, 2, 3, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So sprinkled is now been replaced by salted caramel, and then 5 maple is now shortcake eclair. What does the donut array look like after the following changes? So we know that Boston cream 0, 1, 2. We know that Boston cream is now cinnamon twist, so 0, 1, 2. So cinnamon twist, so this is correct. So it's either these two, okay? We know that salted caramel, sprinkle, has been replaced by salted caramel. So Boston cream, so it's got to be this one because we didn't replace powdered, right? We replaced sprinkled, so it's this guy. Okay, moving right along. Okay, quiz. Udacity family. Create an array called Udacity family and add Julia, James, and your name to the array, then print it. So var, and then I'll just copy this because I don't like typing, equals, close square brackets, I'll just copy this, Julia, James, and your name. And then I'll fill. And then output it into the console. Copy that. Okay, and let's test run. Excuse me. Do a James fill. Okay. Submit. All good. Quiz. Building the crew. Okay. The space western TV drama Firefly premiered in the US on September 20, 2002. Although the show only featured 14 episodes and was canceled during its first season, it continues to remain popular today with a growing fan base. In the show, the Captain Maul, played by Nathan Fillion, leads a crew of renegades on the spaceship Serenity. Create an array called crew. Okay. Copy that. So var crew equals Okay, so it's an empty array. To organize Serenity's crew and set it equal to the variables below. You don't need to type out the actual strings, just use the provided variables. Okay, so let's see. So we got that. So what we're gonna do is this. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 of them. So it's gonna be crew 0. Okay. Equals captain. Crew 1 equals second. Crew 2 equals pilot. Crew 3 equals companion. Crew 4 equals mercenary. Hope I'm spelling this all right. And then crew 5 equals mechanic. Okay, and I think that's it. There's some errors here. Okay, there. Test run that. It won't really output anything because we haven't done a console log. Okay, and then print the crew array. So we'll just say console dot log crew. Okay. So submit that. Yep, got that going. Let's go to the next. The price is right. Starting with this array of prices, change the prices of the first, third, and seventh elements in the array. Var prices equals, okay, so that's the different prices. Tip, the first element of an array has an index of 0. Afterwards, print out the prices. Okay. Alright, so starting with the price array, change the prices of the first, third, and seventh array elements in the array. Okay, so I just have to change it to something. So 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so change the prices. So we'll just say prices 1, 0 equals 9314. Okay, prices. The third element is this one, so it's 2.12. That's my birthday. The seventh element is 6, right? So let's say 10/25. That's my wife's birthday. And then console.log prices. So to print it out. Okay, let's submit that. Okay, all right. That was fairly easy, guys. Okay. Let's move on to the next. on. That's okay. Alright. Next. Okay, you can find the length of an array by using its length property. Okay, so donuts.length is the property. Prints 3, because there's 1, 2, 3. To access the length property, type the name of the array followed by a period. You also use the period to access other properties and methods, and the word length. The length property will then return the number of elements in the array. Tip. Strings have a length property too. You can use it to get the length of any string. For example, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.length returns 34. Okay, cool. Quiz. What is the length of the following inventory array? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 elements. Continue. Okay. So you can find an array, length of an array, but what if you want to modify an array? Thankfully, arrays have quite a lot of built-in methods for adding and removing elements. Oh, before we move on, I wanted to look at this documentation, and I wanted to save that into Evernote. Okay, I'll take a look at that later. Kind of a cool website. It changes colors. Okay, cool. So we're here. Okay, thankfully arrays have quite a few built-in methods for adding and removing elements from an array. The two most common methods for modifying an array are push and pop. Push. You can use the push method to add elements to the end of an array. For example, imagine the following spread of donuts. You can represent the spread of donuts using an array. Bar donuts equals glazed chocolate frosted Boston cream, glazed cooler, cinnamon sugar, sprinkled. Then you can push donuts onto the end of the array using the push method. Donuts.push powder pushes powder into the donuts array. So now the length is now, so before it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now it's 7. Glazed chocolate, so they added powder in the end. Okay. Pop. Alternatively, you can use the pop method to remove elements from the end of the array. Bar donuts equals glaze. Glaze, chocolate frosted Boston cream. Glaze cooler, cinnamon sugar, sprinkled powder. Donuts dot pop. Pops powdered off on the end. So if you pop, this comes out. Pop sprinkled again. Okay, and pop cinnamon sugar. So So this is what it returns. The last one that it pops. Okay. So now the donuts array is all there's left. With the pop method, you don't need to pass a value instead. Pop will always remove the last element from the end of the array. Also, pop returns the element that has been removed in case you need to use it. Bar donuts. Bar donuts. So glazed, chocolate frosted, Boston cream, glazed cruller, cinnamon, powder. Okay? So donuts.pop returns powder. Quiz. We've decided to replace some donuts in the array. So 1, 2, so it's this, and we pop 1, 2, 3. So glaze is left. We push maple and sprinkle. What does the donut array look like? So it's glazed, maple, walnut, and sprinkle. So now it's so 1, 2, 3. So we pop those 3. We push maple donut. We pop it again. So now it's just glazed, and then, so it's glazed and sprinkled. This well. Okay. Ooh. What if you want to add or remove elements from the array within an array? Check out the next section on splice. Okay. Splice is another handy method that allows you to add and remove elements from anywhere within an array, while push and pop limit you to adding and removing elements from the end of the array. Splice lets you specify the index location to add new elements, as well as a number of elements you would like to delete, if any. So you can do this, and then you can, so splice 1, 1, removes, so removes chocolate frosted at index 1 and adds chocolate cruller and creme de leche starting at index 1. Yeah. So removes this and it adds this and this. So returns chocolate frosted and now the array is glazed, chocolate cruller, creme de leche, Boston cream, and glazed cruller. The first argument represents the starting index from where you want to change the array. The second argument represents the number of elements you want to remove. Okay, so where you want it and where you want it. So the starting index for where you want to change, the second array represents the number of elements you want to remove. So the index and what you want to remove. So you can actually remove 2, and then you can remove 3, and it'll add just these 2. Okay. The first, okay, so we're good on that. Splice. Yeah. Splice is an incredibly powerful method that allows you to manipulate your arrays in a variety of ways. Any combination of adding or removing elements from an array can all be done in one simple line of code. Take a look at the MDN documentation to see a long list of examples demonstrating the power of splice. We've decided to replace some of the donuts in the donut array. Bar donuts, 3. So we splice at -2. Okay, what does that mean? Hold on.
I really like
Yeah, what is what does donut look like? -2. Splice. If negative, we'll begin with that many elements from the end of the array. With origin -1, it will be set to 0. If absolute is greater than the length of the array. If negative, we'll begin that many elements from the end. Okay, so -2. So 1, 2. So it's going to splice it right here. Okay, it's going to take out 0. So it's just going to insert chocolate frosted after, right? Does it do before or after? So it's cookies. So it looks like it's cookies, chocolate frosted, and then glazed cinnamon sugar. And it puts it in front of it, right? So cookies. So 0, 1, 2. So it puts it here. So is it before or after? Chocolate frosted glazed. So it's either cookies, so chocolate frosted glazed, cinnamon sugar, or cookies, cinnamon sugar. Okay, it looks like it's this one. So it puts it before. Okay. James was grading an array with the colors of the rainbow, and he forgot some colors. The standard rainbow colors are usually listed in this order. Okay, red, Roy GB, P. But James had this. Okay. Using only the splice method, insert the missing colors into the array and remove the color blackberry. So this rainbow is like this. So we have to insert so rainbow dot splice. So it takes so we go 0, 1, 2. So we start at 2, we take out 1. Insert. So now it's red, orange. So I have to insert yellow. Yellow. Okay. And then we're going to have to. So now it's red, orange, yellow, blue. Then we have to add purple in the end. So rainbow, push, purple, and console.log. yellow, blue, purple. Okay, looks good. Ooh, try again. You should have a variable rainbow. You should remove blackberry. You should add purple to the rainbow array. You should use splice method to add and remove elements to the array. Okay, so I can't do push. Okay, try again. So now what I'm going to do is just do splice again. And then I'm going to start. I'm going to pick out -1. No, I'm not taking out. I'm going to remove 0 and I'm going to add purple. Oh. Okay, so negative. How about 0? Ooh, it puts it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. -1. Did that already. -1. Just putting it before blue. So it's -1. Let's read the splice. One, two, three, four. About if we say we're going to insert it in the 5th element. Okay, will that work? Yep, that sure does. Oh, try again. Yellow and green weren't added to the rainbow. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh. So I have to add yellow and green. Yellow and green. That's why. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Okay, that's good. Okay. Next. We ditch cup. In Harry Potter novels, children attending the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft usually belong to one of 4 houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Each year, the houses assemble a Quidditch team of 7 players to compete for the coveted Quidditch Cup. Consider the following array: War Team, Oliver, Angelina, Katie, Alicia, Fred Weasley, George Weasley, Alicia Spinnet, Harry Potter. Create a function called enough players that takes the team array as an argument and returns true or false depending if the array has at least 7 players. Okay, so we're going to go function has enough players, and one that takes a team of array. So I'll say team array, and then you go so if evaluate this team array length is greater or equal to 7. Return true. Otherwise, return false. Okay. Is that good? maybe that doesn't require an if here. Oh gosh. I forgot what the ternary expression is. Let's go back. Ternary operator, JavaScript. Okay, so function return is member. Okay, so there's no if. We'll just do team array. Expect return is extend solve return. I think I have to put this as an expression like that. Same with this. Does that work? Okay. So it's actually values that it returns, not not expressions. So it should be return this whole thing. If the value is true, it's true. Otherwise, it's false. Okay. And close. Let's try it out. True. But it's only Harry Potter. But I think it's gonna pass. Okay, but I want to see this, so it should say false. Okay, right. In an earlier exercise, you created a crew array to represent Mal's crew from the hit show Firefly. Fair captain, okay. Crew, okay, that's right. Later in the show, Mal takes on 3 new crews named Simon River and Book. Use the push method, okay? So we'll just go crew dot push doctor. Sister. Shepherd. There's really no output. Next, use the MDN documentation to determine which of these methods would be best for reversing elements in the array. Push, pop, reverse, shift, splice. Array, reverse, elements. Okay, there's an array dot prototype reverse. The reverse method reverses an array in place. The following array element becomes the last, and the last element becomes the first. So array dot reverse. This guy. What would be the best array method to store the elements in this array? sort me. What would be the best array method? Maybe there's a array sort. The sort methods sorts the array in place and returns the array. The sort is not necessarily stable. The default sort order is according to string points. Time and space complexity of sort cannot be guaranteed as it's a okay, so it sorts the numbers. So array that sorts. So it's good for numbers. Okay. Consider the following: remove first element, var. Remove first element, ABC. Let's say that you want to modify, i.e. mutate, by removing the first element within it. Which method could you use? I think you could use twice. Huh? Removing the first element within it. Okay, so say array remove first element. Remove attribute. Shift methods removes the first element from an array and returns it that removed element. This method changes the length. So 1, 2, 3 expected output is 1. Is there a slice? Array slice. Slice method returns a shallow copy of the portion array into a new array object for the nth n, and not included. The original array will not be modified. So you slice the first to 5. Bison. Slice method returns a shallow copy of the portion. Oh, 1 to 5 gives you 1, 2, 0, 1. So slice. So, oops. No? Okay guys, I'm going to take a quick break. We'll finish this up on the next video, okay? We are ending on lesson 15.17.